Some of these fan bases are ridiculous because all these individuals that he addressed have been talking about Jay for years on social media, talking about him for years on podcasts and interviews.
And
Jay hasn't said anything.
Nope.
But as soon as he does, people are like, he's using Drake for attention or he's using Nicki for attention. Like these folks haven't been talking about him forever.
Real big.
Drake, I mean, I can kind of see why he gives some people the vision of confidence, but I'm like, he's such a cornball. Rappers have to be fucking cool.
My partners, people that I work with, people I've teased, people I've laughed at, people's wife that I've fucked. Them niggas in the Epstein files.
You had to cash cow and thunk it. What you punked is, I'm the one who strung the pain. That hill you can die on. It's way too much flack that comes from those pains. I'm killing them softly. What's understood don't need to be explained. You want it one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I'm mauling you niggas, gang. I ain't much for me, it's no how. Cancel the brunches, I remember the hunger pain. The price of the bricks going up. It's gonna cost you a beat to even say my name.
Everything goes back to like something to do with Drake. I mean, not to be funny, but it's just like the obsession.
Welcome back and what's good? This is the Furious Robinson podcast and I'm your host, Furious. I'm here to document ego, power, leverage, and accountability in media. Hit that like button early, drop a comment for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is a Sick Times Media production. You see the planes? To whom it may concern, because I'm going to get to it early. This is for the field. These boys do not want them bars. They don't want them double and triple entendres. They do not want timestamp Drake pon them head top. They do not want Drake singing to your girl all over the track, taking her on these lavish dates to Turks. They don't want it. So respectfully, when I look at the Roots Picnic freestyle and the Jay-Z bars, I was not impressed. I'm sorry. This was above average. The hype was insane. And that's why I'm here to say, yo, the rules do not apply to Jay-Z. When it comes to Hove, when it comes to the GOAT, when it comes to these figures that are essentially larger than rap and larger than essentially the culture as a whole, people will naturally glaze. People will just turn themselves into human shields.
Thematically, it's so intelligently written. I'm like, this is great writing, not that crap. Drake gives you fucking Burger King French fries and y'all freak the fuck out. I saw you.
They're going to be two guys sitting on a rock and they're going to be looking out at the cityscape of Los Angeles or Miami. It's going to be all ruins. And they're going to say, damn, we used to have an amazing civilization. I read about it in some of these books that's left over. It's like, for real? It's like, yeah, man, things were great. We had all kinds of stuff. We had people bring you food to your house whenever you wanted. We had like go to a place and tip somebody, they dance for you. You have a great time. And he's going, what happened to it? What ended this great civilization? The guy's gonna look up in the sky, he's gonna go, dick rod. We just couldn't get off a nigga's dick.
This is not what billionaire status looks like to me. I didn't think Jay-Z needed to come back to give Oskino bars. You shooting at Jaguar, right? Why?
Oh, hey, you with the afro. Give it a rest.
911 is a joke. Public enemy #1 op in rank. The rock's not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is?
I mean, I could understand Dame. At one point in time during the Rockefeller era, that was your brother. Why are you shooting at Nicki? You a billionaire. What were you doing? Do billionaires do this? I don't know. So I'm intrigued to see how Jay-Z really lays this out. How does he lay the foundation for bars? You got to come with bars because now you have entered the chat. And the biggest takeaway from the Roots Picnic was not that Jay-Z responded. It's the fact that he felt that he needed to. And once Jay-Z entered the battle, everybody from OVO to PG Lang to Rock Nation has one job. Please stop talking. Just get to the bars. Start rapping. Let's just layer this with some context. Maybe you were living under a rock. Kendrick and Drake spent the last year tearing hip hop apart. Kendrick won the cultural battle. Drake continues to win commercially as he drops Iceman, Habibi, and Maid of Honor. Jay-Z had to step in the ring. The Super Bowl did not work. They had so many A-minors stamped at the Super Bowl, and it didn't work. It just made Drake stronger. And suddenly, this is where the tables have turned, and the war got a whole lot bigger.
Drake never gives me interesting relationship to the rhythm. I'm like, somebody said he sounds like, all his songs sounds like voice note recordings that were forced onto a beat. And I'm like, yes.
So let's just speak to the uncomfortable truth. Drake is still the common denominator in a lot of these guys' minds. These guys sit around and strategically plot and plan on how they're going to reverse glaze Drake and pander and position to Jay-Z. So when Jay-Z addressed multiple people on that Roots Picnic stage, nobody cared. We only cared about Drake.
That's why this nigga be going at Drake.
That's a good point.
Think about it. Dame caught bars. Oskino caught bars. Nicki allegedly caught bars. And the entire internet immediately said, yo, but what did you mean right there when you spoke on Drake? That's because whether people like it or not, Drake remains the center of gravity. And here's the funny part. This is comical. People continue to tell me that Drake lost. If that's the case, why do people keep responding? Why is Kendrick still being leveraged and discussed through Drake? Why is Punch TDE so excited? We got to ask ourselves very specific questions. Why is Jay-Z suddenly popping out now? Because Drake is still the topic of conversation. And if Jay really believed that Drake wasn't competition, we probably don't get these bars. We probably don't get the freestyle. So this is where it gets fickle to me on Jay-Z's part. This is where it didn't make sense, because if you're not paying attention to the internet, then why do you care about stan culture? One, because in that GQ interview where he essentially came for stan culture, and I agreed with most of the conversation, it's a lot of bots online. It's a lot of stans trying to dox you and find you and do all these malicious things when they don't even know you. It's all personal. They have these parasocial relationships with artists. I call it celebrity worship.
Well, I don't think Furious is an idiot. I think his mustache is a little off, but
I think he's
I
an
don't
idiot.
think he's
That's
an idiot.
hate. Hey, chill out.
I think he's an
Nah,
idiot.
his mustache is nuts, yo.
Yeah.
I went to that nigga YouTube page. He
Yeah.
had the nerve to
Hell
have
yeah.
some shit pinned to the top. I'm like, this nigga pinned this mustache to the top of this motherfucker.
So I get that. But if you don't respect it, you were disgusted by it, and you kind of look at it as the OG looking down on the game, why join in on the fun now? Jay, you are the game. The second you mention Drake, the second you mention contracts and charts and publishing, you are now a willful participant in the war against Drake. That's why people like Torre were hyping the freestyle.
I just don't feel like Drake, just the same way that Kendrick made it like, does he really, really understand African-American culture? No.
This freestyle is important to them. It's important to Ebro. It's important to Charlemagne. This is the nostalgia they live for. I have to keep it a bean. I'm sorry. This is nasty levels of assembling like Voltron and becoming a Hovenger. Torre jumping out the window, Ebro stepping outside of his body, Charlemagne being the human shield and glazer for Jay-Z. The puppet mastery from Jay on this one is masterclass. The way he continues to control these grown men's talking points through essentially above average and spoken word bars to me is crazy.
I'm governed by God. You trying to break the government. I prayed for 40 days. My neck get flooded again. Wrist get flooded again. My net worth went up again. My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hole. I never looked up to them.
I don't understand it. It's the nostalgia. Why continue to hype this up knowing they do not want that smoke with Drake? Knowing that Drake will go bar for bar, song for song, and make hits upon your head top. But no, we gotta uncomb the wigs. We gotta wear an afro. We gotta put that fist in the air. I get it. They're running with the anti-black narratives again. Make it stop.
During the battle, Drake said to Kendrick, "You're trying to rap like you freeing the slave."
Yeah.
Black people had a problem with that. People had a problem with that. He didn't listen again. He's still not listening because he's still playing around with this same idea of Kendrick trying to appeal to people who need to learn something or free their minds from something. And that's the issue? That's not the issue.
Right. The whole Avengers are in plain sight. Charlemagne, Ebro, Torre, name them, Wayno, whoever, they're all outside and very hypocritical. Because now that Jay-Z is trying, he's doing his best. These are above average bars. And they know, they understand that there will be a pack out coming because Drake is now powered up. I ain't gonna hold you. This like Super Saiyan 2, 3 to me with Iceman and Habibi and Maid of Honor. So make it make sense. Now suddenly everybody is grandstanding and grading a festival freestyle like it came from Mount Sinai. The hypocrisy is incredible. And this is why Drake quietly wins, because the standard continues to be changed. It immediately gets moved. The goalpost will continue to move to Saudi Arabia or wherever Jay-Z is building these casinos, as long as this man is the puppet master, as long as he can control Ebro, Charlemagne, Torre, Wayno, Head, you name it, they are all pawns in Jay-Z's chess game. That's it.
Jay's breath always used to stink. And you know why? Because for some reason, don't you hate when niggas got bad breath and chew Big Red? It's just cinnamon doodle. Nobody wants to smell that.
The monologue mogul strikes again. At some point, we got to check on Dame Dash's mental health. Not because he's necessarily wrong. He continues to talk every week, every month. This man is a hip-hop historian on Jay-Z. Not another Art of Dialogue interview, not another podcast appearance, another 3-hour dissertation on Jay. Why are you discussing Jay-Z's breath? Why are you discussing his hair? I mean, yes, it was funny, but Dame, I thought you were a mogul. I thought you were a tycoon, but you continue to be the proverbial chatty patty.
Det Dash, that's his new name. You should start a new label called Det Jam.
It must be embarrassing for him to now have to be on that stage, not the same version of himself, and still have to work at that age because he has to.
And at this point, Dame has spent more time talking about Jay-Z than Jay-Z has spent talking about Jay-Z, bro. Make it stop. This is crazy to me. Some of Dame's points aren't even bad. I actually agree with one thing. Why is Jay performing? You're a billionaire. You don't need to perform at Roots Picnic. We get it. You're supposed to be somewhere on a yacht ignoring everybody. So I get it. Fair point from Dame. The problem is, it's coming from Dame.
Dame is spending his money. Like right now, he just filed for a $23 million bankruptcy. If that's not mismanaging your money, I don't know what is.
Because the last person who can call somebody broke, the guy currently doing media rounds and interviews while simultaneously fighting for his life against Josh Weber. You going at it with Chris Brown over business disputes. Dame, we gotta wake up. You got your own fourth quarter to worry about. This isn't CEO behavior. This is the hip hop version of First Take, and somehow Dame Dash is the host, the guest, the analyst, and the commercial break. The monologue mogul has done it again. He continues to clout chase off of Jay-Z. Nasty work.
And you're calling me broke because I have no debt. And you're telling me someone that gets $180 million loan is rich. You guys are dumb.
And I can be fair. I can always play devil's advocate. Maybe Jay was just getting into a pocket. He was getting into his bag. He is still a rapper. He wasn't even trying to battle Drake. Maybe he was simply responding to the years of narratives, years of accusation, years of rumors, years of people speaking on his family and on his name. I get it. That's fair. He's still a man. But if that's the case, then everybody else deserves that same grace, including Drake. So stop moving the goalposts for Jay when we know the bars was mediocre. The bars was above average. So as I gracefully land the plane, this is a win for hip hop. Overall, we're going to get raps. Now is the time to put it on wax. Now is the time to bring your best bars to the forefront. Don't back down now. Don't run away now. Don't fold now. Because this is what I like to see from the Nickys, from the Drakes, from the Kendricks, from the Jays, from the Cole. Don't fold. Don't back away. It's time to give it up on wax. It's time to bar ninjas up. That's what I'm looking for. Hit the comments. Let me know what you think. Jay-Z, the final boss, has entered the chat. Everybody got a rap now. Is this a strategic play from Rock Nation? Is this a strategic play from PG Lang? Who will they tag in next? Because as they see Drake getting bigger, streaming numbers going crazy, number ones, the Michael Jackson glove, I know they are heated because the plan didn't work. But hit that like button for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. And you already know I'm on Instagram, real motion in real time. I'm on X, giving it up daily on Spaces. We waking it up. I'm not backing down from no smoke. I'm walking these ninjas down. And then every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. EST, I'm on live on YouTube, on X, and it's coming. Big things are coming. Salute to the creators. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, a Sick Times Media production. Stay dangerous.